Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to be doing my top 5 tips I think every single Xerath player needs to know. Now, my goal behind this video is to make you a better League of Legends player, as well as to give you a better understanding of Xerath as a whole. I'm going to put timestamps at every single point in the video. They're going to be up top if you want to skip this intro, or if you want to skip a particular tip because you already have a good understanding of what is going on. You can contact me directly with any questions if you want to hit me up with a comment down below, or you can check out the Discord, as well as I'm a little bit limited with this format, only doing 5 tips. So if you have your own tips you'd like to share about Xerath, there are so many small intricacies, so I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into tip number 1. Alright, and getting into tip number 1, absolutely the most important thing that you need to have a good understanding of Xerath is a very quick combo that you need to be able to execute from Fog of War on enemy champions that are unsuspected, and you're just able to line up everything you need on them when they're an unsuspecting victim. Now, this also works very well when you are low HP and the enemy targets are chasing you and they don't expect you to have much turnaround power. This is a great combo to use. So we are starting with E, W, Q, and then into your R's. It's really important that you hit them with the exact center of your W, as well as your E is hitting from a relatively longer distance away so the stun lasts longer. So we are going to be throwing it out from about right here so we can do a really quick cast Q into our R. So what it's going to look like is E, W, Q, R, R, R. And that's kind of a slowed down version. And it's something that you can practice and get really used to, just running your fingers across the keyboard. And it's going to start looking like this. You can get off pretty close to your second shot charging when the enemy champion is still stunned. And if you just have a little bit of AP, this is going to be absolutely devastating to someone that is not a tank. So just really get this combo burned into your head. It's E, let's turn on that, E, W, Q, R, 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 R on the enemy champion. And it's just a disgusting amount of damage. So with that out of the way, that wraps up tip number 1. Alright, and this next tip is particularly for landing more Qs on enemy champions. Now, first of all, the hitbox and the reticule is very weird. As you can see, that hits, but this is not going to hit the enemy target. Even though it looks like it should, it is not going to hit the enemy. So getting used to charging it up fully to where you need it is going to be very important. So when you're playing Xerath, you're looking for a couple of different things. You're looking to fire skill shots from Fog of War, and you're looking for enemy champions that are against walls. It is just going to be 10 times easier to hit these champions because they cannot dodge to the right. So you just compensate a little bit to the left, but not too much, and you should be able to just devastate them with a crap ton of damage. So always look to punish enemy champions that are in areas like this. Is a really susceptible to skill shots, as well as against walls. And then guarding chokes when you're playing Xerath is absolutely massive, because you can do a lot of AoE damage on people that are looking to just run through this choke point, and you are really able to ensure and secure objectives if you land a very good combo on them when they are in those very particular areas. So that will wrap up tip number 2 for Xerath. Alright, and getting into tip number 3, we're going to talk about landing more of your R's on enemy champions. So the very common thing is when you're doing these R's is the enemies are going to look to over dodge and really look to evade these R shots as much as possible, particularly when they are in low HP. So how you can look to utilize this to your advantage is, as you can see with this R, it's a circle. You want to put them pretty centered in the circle and then just hedge your bets a little bit towards one direction on the enemy champion, depending on the different game states. If you have allies that are chasing them down, obviously you want to have your R a little bit in the way that you think that they are going to run away from your allies, because if they dodge into your allies, it's going to be they're just going to be taking damage anyways. So always look, it is sometimes beneficial as well to hold on to your R and let your allies close distance on enemy targets that are over dodging, and this is just can be used as a really great zoning tool, similar to how Swain uses his W. Now, it's really important to get your first shot off really quickly and catch people off guard. So the best way to land as many R's as possible, as simply as I can put it, is first shot R should always come off extremely quickly. You should not be waiting very much, because you can surprise people and they're not going to start dodging before your R is shot out. So the first R is going to be very quick, and then the second, third, and depending on what level you are, the other ones are going to be hedging your bets in the way that you think that they are going to dodge. as well as taking advantage of downtime and the ability to hold on to your ultimate shots and allow your allies to close distance, and this is going to increase your overall accuracy. So the couple of things that are going to increase your overall accuracy are teammates around the enemy, they are near walls or areas that they cannot dodge, like right here or like right here, if they have their dodges down. And then if they have a really big character model, it's going to be a lot easier to hit the enemy targets with your R. You do not want to make your over adjustment for their dodge too much, like I would say that area would be. You want to make it at about right there. You still want it to be centered. You just want your R cursor to be a little bit off centered, and obviously you have to adjust for enemy movement speed is going to be rough if it's like an ADC with 3 movement speed items or a couple of Zeal items and tier 2 boots. It might be difficult to land them, and those are my tips for landing more Rs with Xerath. All right, and getting into tip number 4, I'm going to talk a little bit about the defensive side of Xerath, as you can kind of feel that he is an artillery piece, and he really should be at a particular range, or he can get punished quite heavily. And this is about the sweet spot where you should be looking to punish if you want to look to be aggressive and land things. Now, the biggest downside of Xerath's Q is how it slows himself gradually up to 50%. So you really want to downplay the amount of time that you are holding onto your Q, particularly if you're just CSing and laying against the enemy. Snapcasting Q can be very effective because it doesn't increase the damage to hold onto it longer. All it does is increase the range. So get used to snapcasting Qs, because this is the easiest time to punish Xerath with enemy abilities that are going to just really have a lot easier of a time hitting you because of your slow coming out of your Q. So get used to that, as well as when you're playing Xerath, staying at about this range where you can throw out E's, land max range W's, and do that is going to be very, very beneficial. You can look to at this range, a very optimal combo you can look to do is use your E to start off the combo, use your W to ensure the slow time for your Q to hit, as well as something that if you are not reliant too much on the W's extra damage from that, ensuring you're landing more E's by using the W slow can be a very effective way to play out the combos as well. It just comes down to your different experience with the champion. If you can land E's at a high clip, you don't really need to use your W, and you can use you don't need to use your W slow to maximize your ability to hit the E's. You can use your E stun to maximize your W damage. So as you get better at Xerath, I think the combo should be going E into W into Q, just depending on the different game and play states. That will wrap up my tip for just kind of staying in this sweet spot when you are playing Xerath, because it can just be super punishing if you are able to outrange the enemy champions and just poke them back into going into base. And that will wrap up this tip. All right, getting into the last tip, tip number 5. We're going to talk about how Xerath can utilize his flash in a very aggressive manner, which we are going to be doing an E flash here. As you can see, there is no way that the E should be hitting from this range, but if you do an E flash in, it's going to be very quick. It's going to be a lot quicker than flash E'ing, and it's going to catch people off guard. And then you can utilize the combo that we covered in tip number 1, where you're doing the E into W into QR. And the next thing you can look to do when looking for flash plays on Xerath is you never want to be charging up your Q on a low HP target that you're looking to flash on from non-fog of war, unless you maybe are pretending like you're doing minions and you're not facing their direction. But flashing in your Q for the extended range can be a very effective way to play out your flash as well. But in my opinion, it should always be the E flash to focus on a target pre-objective or to get those really juicy solo kills. That's going to wrap up my video, guys. If you have any questions for me about Xerath, hit me up in the comments down below. And as always, take it easy.